Hello! It's the governor. How you guys doing? I'm here to bring the introduction to the unspoken magical effects of sex. As we know, sex is a means by which the player reproduces. He is able to reproduce genetically. He is able to reproduce his nature. And most importantly, we will see he is able to reproduce his intention. Now, we understand that sex is a means, it is the physical goal that one looks to fulfill some type of pleasure to the body, most specifically like their genitalia, to where they reach or orgasm. So sex in the means that we're going to be speaking is an act in which the player produces GP or sperm, God power. Because through the releasing of sperm, we understand that that is the player releasing his energy, his life force, his God power. He's able to reproduce his genetic code. He's able to reproduce his nature by the means which we will start to get into, as well as what he is looking to achieve in that state of climax, and then what happens afterwards. This talk will be broken down into 5 lessons. The first lesson is SID, sex is desire. The second lesson will be, did you know? The third lesson will be threesome or teamwork, which is a question. The fourth lesson will be but what, and that's BUTT, what, and that's also a question. And the last lesson will be, and we have come to our conclusion. And in this 5-point talk, we will be revealing the unspoken magical effects of sex in what is this physical culmination of? Like what drove the player to the point where he seeks that physical culmination, who he chooses to reach it with, and why, and then what happens afterwards. Because what we will start to see is that the player, if not mindful, like when you think about reproduction, like reproduces with like. Spirit and intention, if they're not like, there can be some major happenings. Bodies can change. People can feel like they're in a body that may not be their own, because what we will find out is that when the player gives his God power to something called a vessel, that he is able to like change things and change people and make things happen by how he gives his God power, the intention behind giving the God power, the methods. Like, there are things that are happening because people don't know why they want to have sex the way they want to have sex. And they don't want to think about it, because if they start to think about it, then they start to see that they don't really have as much free will as they think that they have, because they cannot ignore something that we will start to learn is a desire. Because sex is the physical culmination of a desire. and you do that with your genitalia, and there are just things that a common person doesn't recognize happen because they become so common. I'm going to wrap this up. And what I mean by so common is they become so accepted and so widely seen that people just casually say, okay, I can do it, and don't understand the ramifications behind it. They don't say, well, where does this desire for me to do XYZ come from? And so, what we will just, this is going to be really interesting. I look forward to sharing the lesson with you. Have a good day and power up.